Stacey Limbry, the Media and Marketing Manager at Behind Closed Doors. I'm glad you could join us for another instalment in our video series. And today I'm talking to Donny Walford, our founder and Managing Director at BCD. Hi, Donny.
Hi, Stacey.
Springtime, it's a beautiful day today.
Yes.
Is it the time of year when people tend to not only give a clean up at home but also run the brush over their careers?
Yeah, it always seems to be the beginning of spring and just after you come back from Christmas holidays. And I think spring because everyone's starting to feel good again.
Yeah.
And then obviously Christmas holidays, people are fresh and they've had a lot more creativity over the break.
Right. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about board careers.
Sure.
It seems to be that you go through an executive career and then you want to move to the next phase of your career, which is ascertaining, what's the right board for me and what's the thought process around joining a board. So if we can just talk about that a little bit today, and particularly in relation to networking.
Sure.
How can networks help your board career?
More important than probably what your technical knowledge is. Obviously, people are looking for your experience and your background, and particularly if you've been in C-suite roles, being executive as well as CEO, managing director. What they also want to ascertain is whether you have the financial skills to be on their board. Do you understand trends? Do you understand the financial balance sheet, P&L and cash flow? But what it really comes down to, Stace, is you're probably finding that your networks work better for you in your executive career and your board career. And I've got some real examples of where people have never applied for a board role. They've only ever been tapped on the shoulder. So your networks are probably more important than what your technical skills are.
So how do you broaden your networks then when it comes to playing at that level? Because it's not so easy just to pick up the phone and introduce yourself to someone. How do you do it?
You've got to plan your career, your board career in particular. So what you should be doing is doing a lot of research on the companies and the industry sectors that you want to consider for your board career. The next step is to find out who are the directors and particularly the chairs of those boards, and do some research on them as well. So then you can start working who your networks need to be and start planning how you're going to meet with them. So it could be by introduction, that you could ask people like me who are well networked to introduce you to their networks. It could be that now there's so much activity on LinkedIn where you can go to your networks and ask them to introduce you to their networks through LinkedIn. And others are by really planning out, well, where is your network? Where is your target actually going to do their networking? So, for example, my networks are very much executives, board directors and chairs. Where do they go? They go to the AICD Fellows Dinners, they go to the AICD Annual Dinners, and a lot of the updates that the Australian Institute of Company Directors run throughout the year. So that's my target market. Sure. That's where I make sure that I go to. And plus you earn professional development points by attending those particular events. So there's a networking opportunity, but there's also keeping up your professional development points at the same time.
When you are strategising about who to meet and broadening that network in terms of your board career, should you be honest with people about why you want to meet them? I mean, should you say, look, hi, I'm Stacey, I'm interested in building my network, or should you be a little more subtle about it than that?
No, I think the honest approach is the best approach, Stacey. The one thing you don't do, because everyone's time is so precious and we're all time poor, is to not say, I want to meet with you over a coffee and pick your brains. Pick your brains is probably the worst thing you can say.
Oh, really?
Be open and honest about you do want to improve your networks, or you want to know what they did to start developing their board career. And so have some objective in mind and some outcome that you want to achieve, but also think about how much value you can add to the person you're meeting in some way, shape or form.
I think you've really hit the nail on the head there in terms of adding value. I mean, that really plays into customer service in your business.
Sure.
It comes into, being a great salesperson, if that's what you are. And today we're talking about how to, broaden your network in terms of building a board career. You're talking about adding value, putting that first before asking for something.
I've always in my career gone out to add value to others. I'm very much a giver rather than a taker. And I think that's kept me in good stead because people know that I have either connected them to other people or connected them to business or have given them some form of knowledge or some understanding that they actually want to help you. And I'm finding more and more that people are coming to me now and asking how they can help me because I've obviously added value to them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then when you do need them for something like an introduction, they're really happy to do it.
Right.
Because you've helped them in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like karma, isn't it?
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
Truth time now.
Yeah.
How much influence do existing board members have on the appointment of a new member?
A lot of influence. There wouldn't be probably a quarter that wouldn't go by where someone around the table, if not the chair, asks, who do you know with this skill set, this background, and now around diversity being a major topic around most companies and particularly around boards, with not only the skill sets, but sometimes it's gender diversity, sometimes it's language, sometimes it's because of their networks. So in particular, in arts and not-for-profit and non-government organisations, people are really looking for how you can help them open doors. So it's really important that you use the network that you know and you trust and have built strong relationships with to open up their networks. And so it's still used. Obviously, major boards are still using the recruitment headhunting avenue to recruit board directors, but still, I would say 80% of directors are chosen from networks.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Donny, you're going to talk to us about personal branding in another video, not today, because as you alluded earlier to me, you said that it's such a big topic.
It is.
So we're going to cover that off in another video. But to give our viewers some top takeaways from what we've been talking about today, you talked about having an objective in mind of what you want to achieve in terms of networking.
Yes, not only in networking, but in any event that you go to, you should have an objective of what you want to achieve. It might be meeting the most important person in the room. It may be that you want to meet 3 people that you want to have a relationship with after the event for you to follow up. It may be that you want a piece of business. It may be you just want to have some fun.
Sure.
And in my experience, when you're tired and you think, oh, I just don't want to go, but you do, and you go for the fun aspect, generally you will have you will draw people to you. Maybe it's an energy thing, because they also want to have fun,
right?
And you end up having
a great connection,
a really good connection, but also who knows, you might have even picked up a piece of business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Another top takeaway is know what value you can add to a board or organisation.
Yeah, always understand what value you can bring to the relationship as well as to an organisation.
And tip number 3, do your research on the boards that you've targeted.
Oh, very much so, because the first question I always ask people who say I want to get on a board, I always ask why. What is their reason for being on the board? What research have they done? Give me the top 10 businesses and the top 10 industry sectors you're keen on. You'll be surprised, Stacey, how many people haven't done that basic piece of research.
Tips on building a great board career with Donny Walford at Behind Closed Doors. Thanks, Donny.
You're welcome, Stacey.